Strictly for my hip-hop freaks with lyrical techniques who can slaughter beats and bury them 10 feet deep. Make levels tweak, and those who critique can kiss my cheeks. You want the best? Search and you shall seek. I'm antique, well kept, no rust, no squeaks. Original and unique. Even if you ain't listening, you gon' hear me speak.
Despite living centuries before Darwin, Machiavelli understood the nature of human politics. Evolution favors winners. For Machiavelli, a political rule must be like a chess player. Tactical, ambitious, rational, and ruthless. It is the winning that matters, not how you play. He says, quote, "And the actions of all men, especially princes, where there is no recourse to justice, the end is all that counts. A prince should only be concerned with conquering or painting a state. The means will always be judged to be honorable or praiseworthy by each and every person, because the masses always follow appearances and the outcome of affairs, and the world is nothing other than masses."
Are you starting to see the bigger picture? I want to talk about a movie that came out over 10 years ago, and they handpicked Vin Diesel. The movie just so happened to be called Babylon A.D. Babylon A.D. And I'm not going to waste time and play the trailer, because the development of this movie was not about making money. It was simply about sending a message across the earth that Mystery Babylon is coming to fruition. I want to simply break down some of the subliminal seeds that were planted into the minds of the people, referring to the abomination, the changing of a human being, the merging and the mixing of the iron and the clay, and a few other things. You see, to the carnal-minded, to the lukewarm Christians, they don't see what the enemy is hiding in plain sight. Remember that the Luciferians understand the laws and principles of the Most High God, that in order for the dragon to do certain things in this world, he has to tell the people first. And this makes the spell much more powerful, because he knows that mankind is made in the image of God. And if he can cause the people to think it's just entertainment and not reject the demonic seeds being planted because they're too busy watching what they think is just a movie with popcorn, Satan is also putting a seed that will pop like corn down the road. And the magical spell takes place in the minds of those who are still blinded. With that being said, let us begin. Notice the predictive programming of Russia being involved in this movie. And it just so happens to be that this war has broke out over 10 years after, just after the same time the abomination was released on the earth. And speaking of abomination, I want you to watch what I call the magical seeds of Hollywood that are planted.
Once they reach a motel in Canada, Turup cleans up and injects his new passport into his neck.
Did you see it? What would be the odds that they would plant that magical seed in the minds of people to be conditioned and pre-programmed to accept a injection as a means of a passport. Does that sound familiar to you? Did I not tell you that prophecy doesn't open quickly like a book, but rather slowly unravels like a scroll? This is 10 years ago. They have been planning this longer than you think. And that's why it is not checkers to the enemy, but rather chess. But rather chess.
Pawns in the game.
Pawns in the game.
When I retired, I had no idea what was going on. I had no idea about the Illuminati. I had no idea about Adam Weishaupt. This is the direction that we have to go. Americans, for the most part, are oblivious to what's really going on behind the scenes.
Acclimated into a world of darkness, depravity. You got teachers out here looking crazy and sick. There are women teachers out here that I can't even tell look like women. They look like demons. You got men teachers out here that look like women. You don't know if they Scott or Sarah. And if you say something, you're persecuted. The hell with that. So we got to get in the gap. The hell, I'm going to have something that I can't even identify teaching my son or my daughter. And my son looking at me like, Dad, what's that? Hey, Dad, what's wrong with him? What's wrong with him? And I'm telling my son, like, son, be cool. Son, be cool. It's all right. Let me tell you later. My daughter looking at me like, damn, Dad, what's up? What's wrong with them? Nihilists. A culture of nihilists. Alice Bailey says, if you take God out of education, they will unconsciously form a resolve that God is not necessary to face life. And by removing God, you become your own God, self-reliance and pride. And we all know that the Most High hates pride and self-reliance. So she formulated the plan. They will focus on those things. The school counts them worthy to be passed on, and they will look at God as an additional, if one can afford the additional. Anything else outside the Most High God in Christ, he's secondary. This was the implemented plan to destroy the minds of our children. This was their plan, and it was being done gradually by them.
Really need to bring China into the creation of a new world order.
The world has changed much since that last visit. And I believe the progress that we have made in the partnership sets us up well for the new world order.
Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney is touting a new strategic partnership with China in talks with Xi Jinping in Beijing as part of what he has said is a new world order, in part due to the fallout from Trump tariffs in the United States.
They introduced the transcendental meditation in schools, right? In which it takes children to an altered state of consciousness to meet with demon spirit guides, witchcraft, sorcery, demonology. What do y'all see out here happening now? Witchcraft, sorcery, demonology. It's all over the place.
See, old and young, you're just thinking about these cats in the parade and dancing, but what they won't show you is the stuff they're doing in the Boy Scouts and the stuff they doing. And why do these guys want to be around children? And what is it? Because there is a spirit in them that wants to mentor. And they mentor them and they pick out the ones with effeminacy tendencies and they target them. And that's why you keep seeing these brothers with porn in their phone, child pornography. Where are they coming from? These are the priests and the teachers. Where is it coming from? These are people who put themselves in a position to mentor. So young and old, that means boys, little boys is out there at the door trying to have sex with these men. Look at this here. He says, 5. No, wait a minute. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round about, both young and old, all the people from every quarter. All the people. What spirit is this strong that everybody come? Because it wasn't just, a lot of them wasn't coming just to have sex. A lot of them was what you call exhibitionists or voyeurs. Because historically there were beds in the square where they would have sex in the square. And many would look on the perversion like you looking at the gladiators in the ring. This is how deep that culture was. To the point that even though you might be into it, but you say, come on, child. You get your child to come and watch the perversion. Now you can understand adults, but would you bring your child? That's how deep it was. This is where we're headed. That's why they are in the schools, training your child, teaching them about the two daddies and the pedophilia uncles, teaching them. They're normalizing it to them so that they'll get to a point that where they won't have any boundaries.
So I want to start out with this video of a pastor reading a very perverted book that could be found in the library for 10-year-olds to consume. Take a listen.
My own last name is Amanchukwu. It means I know God. And I'm glad to say that I do. I'm here today to talk about this book here. My name is John Amanchukwu, as I stated earlier. It's called It's Perfectly Normal for Students 10 and Up. This book details all kinds of sexual images, pictures of elderly people nude, pictures of an individual who's in a wheelchair with his penis out. All of these sexual pornographic images are made available and placed at the fingertips of children. And I'm sure, Dr. Cruz, I don't know if you knew about this before you signed on, but hopefully this is something that you can address and deal with, because this is immoral and asinine to allow children to be able to see this. Also, this book even shows images of two women having sex, a man and a woman having sex, and two men having sex. That's not perfectly normal. Who decides what's normal? Is it you? Is it you? Is it you? Is it you? Or do parents decide what should be placed at the fingertips and allowed to be taught to their children in this school system? I'll read some of this for you. It says, after a bit, a person's vagina becomes moist and slippery, and the clitoris becomes hard.
This is a children's book, y'all. This is a book specifically written for children. Just keep that in mind.
After a bit, a person's penis becomes erect, stiff, and larger.
Pastor.
Sometimes a bit of clear fluid that may contain a few sperm comes out of the tip of the penis and makes it wet.
Can we, sir, I'm sorry.
Was it something I said? Was it something I said? If you don't want to hear it in a school board meeting, why should children be able to check it out of the school system? You see, we have perverts that are perverting our kids. And you all sit back smug in your chairs and celebrate diversity, equity, and inclusion, but you don't want me to read it so you can hear it. Why? Does it bother you? Yes or no? You can't answer that question. You want to know why? Because politically speaking, you can't say that it's wrong. You probably are a Christian man. But many Christians today have become more Democrat than Christian. Some Republicans have become more Republican than Christian. I'm not trying to win an election. I don't get my talking points from the RNC or the DNC. I get my talking points from the Bible, from the Bible. And you don't want me to read the filth because it exposes the truth. How dare you tell me to stop reading it? If you don't want to hear it, why should the children have to see it?
Pastor, your time is up. Thank you.
That makes two of us.
How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nation? So it's saying right here that he has the ability to weaken the nations. How does he weaken the nations? When he is summoned, when rituals are performed, he comes in, he rules through people, and they weaken nations. And musical artists perform rituals all the time. Understand, they perform rituals with their music. They go in the studio. When they're in the studio, depending on the kind of music they're making, they either have some kind of substance in there, they're smoking it, drinking it, whatever, or they have orgies in there, or they have witches and warlocks that come in there. But they're performing rituals so that their songs can get traction, their songs can blow up, they can sell a bunch of copies or whatever, and they can have major influence. The real influence comes when the music is mastered. It's mastered in these mastering houses where they have the pentagrams on the ground in there and all of that. They light the black candles and they, send out spirits with music. And people say, well, why are they doing all this with music? Well, understand, this was Satan's power in heaven. This is what he used. This is the most influential thing in our realm, music is. So you can put a message in music, hide it in music. That message can get into a person unknowingly. It can go into the mind of a man and disturb his conscience without his consent. Music can do that. And so this is why it's so important for them to put their influence in these songs and tracks and different things that are released. And people are so enamored with musical artists that they don't even realize the power of their ritualistic performances. So people love them so much they just pay money to go to their concert, especially Christians going to Beyonce and all of that, and they don't really understand what Beyonce is doing. But Beyonce has done this for years. She went from being the innocent young girl to now just basically being as lewd and foul as she wants to be. She's done it for years. And I don't know if you remember, but she ushered in the Yoruba goddess spirit when she was pregnant, when she did the ritual as Oshan. So she performed as Oshan, who is a Yoruba goddess. And it's the goddess, that dominates men. It's the goddess of sexuality and perversion. This particular goddess, she ushered Oshan in. And because people weren't aware of it, Her and Rihanna now they've subtly changed the desire of young women from being ladies into being full-blown promiscuous divas with no regard for modesty or chastity. Nobody wants modesty or nobody wants to be chaste anymore. Now these women want to be promiscuous, control men with their sexuality, flaunt it, all of that. They have raised up a nation full of young women that feel empowered by their sexuality and promiscuity. And now they're applauded for it. They're rewarded for it. That's why the internet is full of it. Instagram, all of this is just full of women showing themselves and using their bodies to seduce and to get likes and views and different things. All of this came because of these rituals, that specific one of Beyonce and the Oshan ritual. And then don't forget the young men that are influenced by the hip hop culture. I've been teaching it for years. They're influenced to be thugs, pimps, slangers, and bangers. Now they've altered their appearance. Young men don't look like men anymore. They look like little animals now. They've altered their appearance to be dreadful, effeminate, and grimy. That's the look now. And they have no regard now for what is appropriate. And this all came through music. I've been warning people for years, for 30 years, I've been telling you that this music was going to have an effect on our young people and a generation of people. And now we're seeing it. It's through this music that was promoted to our generation. These children now are just walking around pretty much lost. Proverbs 18:21 says, death and life are in the power of the tongue. And you got to remember, that's what music does. It takes your tongue. It makes you sing. It makes you confess. It makes you declare. It makes you say what the artist is saying. So whatever message they put in there, you are repeating it. And it begins to change your life, because death and life is truly in the power of the tongue. Now let me move to something else.
10-point plan. Part 2. Reduce the parental authority over the children. Now, how would you do that? Well, in her words, break the communication between parent and child. And if you break the communication between parent and child, you have what? What you see today. Parents killing children. Children killing parents. Why? No foundation of God. No foundation of Christ. New Age. Demonology, witchcraft,